All right, and we are recording. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Women Empowering Women podcast. If you don't know what Women Empowering Women is all about, I am about to give you that introduction. First, I am Doreen Dilcher. I am the founder of Women Empowering Women, and this is our podcast interview where we interview some amazing and powerful women that we are connected with. And I am so happy to have my guest today, Anita Barbero. But before we get into that, guys, if you don't know what Women Empowering Women is about, let me explain what we're all about. So we are an online platform for creative women, and for those creative women to gain friendship, to create personal and professional, personal and professional insights through our monthly workshops and classes, so women can feel supported and heard and gain confidence to make empowered decisions to create their best life on purpose. And the way that we do that is through, I have a monthly dashboard, I want to say. It's kind of like a workbook magazine filled with so much information and tips and downloads and printables. It's really awesome. But we also have classes. We have monthly classes every single month. We have our planner meetup. So in the beginning of the month, we get together, we talk about how to plan our month. We talk about getting together and planning either electronically or on paper. We have our self-awareness class, which is all about exactly putting ourselves first and the things that we can do to put ourselves first. So we have amazing different people that come in and talk about that. We have our monthly mastermind group, which is for business people who want to get to that next level, who are looking for that accountability group, that accountability partner. We have our creative art classes, which is a whole lot of fun. So we do painting, we do art journaling, we do mixed media, we do memory keeping, so many different classes we do. We also have our monthly masterclass trainings, which is all business related. And we go into the nitty gritty about how to do stuff. And it's a great opportunity to come in and learn from somebody who's on the other side and how to implement it. So you're kind of, getting through the BS of all those other classes and getting into and implementing right away. And then, of course, we have our monthly networking group. And if you are interested in joining us, it is only right now, as of December 21st, is it the 21st? Yes. It is only $27 a month, which is an amazing price. If you were to take any of those classes separately, it would cost you $27 each, but you get so much for that low price. But we are moving our prices up as of January 2021 to $37. And even with that, it is still an amazing price. So we would hope that you would join us. And all you got to do is go to womenempoweringwomennow.com and you can sign up for our Elite Circle membership. All right. So that out of the way, I am so excited to talk to my next guest, Anita Barbero. Anita is a transformational health coach. She is the leader in mindfulness all around. This woman just empowers it. She bleeds it. She lives it. And I'm absolutely so thrilled to talk to her about this conversation today. Anita, welcome. Could you please introduce yourself?
I will. Thank you, Doreen, for that introduction. You do offer a lot, that's for sure. And hopefully in the next year, I'll be able to, take part in some more of the offerings of which you have, but you certainly do empower women. I am a transformational health coach. And, Doreen, what really makes me different, I think, is the process of which I approach every client, whether it be in a group situation or personally, taking you where you're at and then going through the process of where you want to be. But it's all based on your own personal lifestyle and your goals. And, we figure out a way for you to achieve it. So it's very personal. The program I have, it's called Get Your Health Back Now. And the reason why I say now is because there's no better time than now, right? To get our health back, to get really our life and our energy back. And health is so much more than just weight, as you know, because you just had a successful weight loss in your journey. Um, it's so much more than just health. What is health? It's energy, it's vitality, it's ease of living, better choices. There's so much more to that. So that's what I do. But the tool and the technique that I use is mindfulness. That's what I've been trained in. I've been coaching for a very long time and in the health business. I had my own gym for years, way back for about 10 years. Then I did personal training in other people in homes. And I then went to work at ESPN in the corporate arena in their wellness department for 10 years. I just went part time a couple of years ago, but steeped in wellness pretty much my whole life, coaching people to good health and well being has become so big now. And it's so important. Mindfulness, again, is the tool that I use, the technique. And that's been a great gift to be able to offer my clients. I've been practicing that for the past 10 years. And it's just a technique that's so relatable and so doable.
Hmm.
And that's what I do.
I love that. So I met Anita through networking, which of course, this is where all my connections go. I've been networking for, I don't know, since I was a kid, right? However, the importance of when you meet somebody and you have that connection, and I can, actually say that Anita has, when we talk about mindfulness and talk about being present and really paying attention to someone, I have to give you kudos on that, Anita, because you always stop and you listen to the person. And it's like they're the only person in that room. We could be in a room of 50 people. They're the only person in that room. And you are actively listening and you are actively giving tips. I remember we were walking in my space or walking down the hallway, and Anita is showing me ways that I can exercise as I am walking down the hallway because I was so busy. And it's just those little things are, common sense stuff to her, should be common sense stuff to us, but we do not get to that point where we're putting ourselves first or we're being mindful of the needs that we need for our body. So I love that you absolutely do that. So let me ask you this. How did you get started in this whole arena of mindfulness and being aware of your body? And I know that you do yoga and strength training and all that stuff. Where did it all begin for you?
So my health journey, Doreen, ever since I was a kid, really, I was blessed to be in a household, a family that, my dad ran. It was a healthy environment that I was in. And dancing was a big part of my life. And then it was, track and I never really stopped. I enjoyed and found so much when so many benefits when I did work out and with my body. So I've always been in tune with my body. And it just made sense for me to share that message. And then over the years, so I had my own gym for 10 years. And that was very, very much the physical piece. That's what I was involved in. And after I left that, got out of that and went into more personal training in people's homes and things like that, and life kind of evolved. I felt like there was so much more to being healthy than the physical piece. And I always pretty much knew that when I would go for runs by myself and things like that. I mean, I just got so in tune with my body. And but I wanted to pass along a deeper message of health and well-being where the body would connect with the mind. So I decided to get into yoga for that reason, and also for personal reasons. At my personal life at the time, I was raising kids, teenagers, and felt I needed something for my own mental well-being. I knew I had the physical wrapped up, but I needed something for my mental well-being. And actually, it was a client that suggested yoga to me. She goes, I think you would love yoga. And I said, oh gosh, okay, another body thing. And so when I went for my first class, I was totally turned on to it, mostly because I had a really good teacher that really got into the mind, body, spirit connection, because that's what yoga is. It's connecting your mind and your body with your spirit, which is your breath. So that's when I really got into the breath
Mm.
and with movement. And then I decided, okay, why don't I try a meditation practice on my own? Because I felt I needed, again, more. I couldn't do yoga all the time, the asanas, the physical practice. I didn't need more physical. And so that's when I decided to just start a meditation practice seated, 5 minutes. And that I was able to, the gift from that, Doreen, was going back to it every day, 5 minutes. That's all I was able to do and give myself. That's all I was willing to do. But what I tell people is you have to notice the subtle changes that happen in that. And that's what kept me going back. I wasn't great at it. Like people say, oh, my mind. I mean, I was a total type A personality, honest to God. And here I am almost 30 years later, right? And if I didn't do that practice, I really shudder to think of what I would be like today in that type A, craziness, especially with all the stuff that's going on. So I recognize the subtle changes each time. And I think it took me a year to get past 5 minutes comfortably, where I felt I could go 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So when people say that they can't do it because their minds are always going, or they're a type A, or 20 minutes is too long, I agree. 20 minutes is long to
Right.
start out with. Start out with 3. And I used to we didn't have cell phones at the time, so I would add a timer there. And I can remember in the middle of the 5 minutes looking at my timer, like, oh my gosh, it's only 2 minutes. Now I do a 20 to 30-minute meditation every day, and it's hard for me to get out of that.
Mm.
Because I found my comfort place. It's
Yeah.
such a beautiful place to be, because you connect each time with your whole self.
Right.
And then with mindfulness, Doreen, so that's mindfulness. I started that technique when I first started at ESPN, because they didn't really want to know about meditation. I couldn't really walk in and bring the company meditation. But a good friend and colleague of mine who was in HR said to me, Anita, look up and into mindfulness. And I was so skeptical. I'm like, really? And I did, because I'm open. Plus, I trusted her.
Yeah.
And from there, boom, the doors open. I walked through, I learned, I started to practice.
Mm.
So I've been practicing mindfulness meditation for 10 years. And I love the concept, because it's paying attention,
Mm.
like you said in the beginning, right? As you were introducing me, paying attention on purpose to
Right.
what's going on now. So
Mm.
when we were walking through that hallway with you, and you're right, to me it's like common sense, but that's how I was raised. That's what I know. But to
Right.
you, it's not common sense,
Right.
because that's not what you know.
Right.
But in that moment, you were paying attention
Mhm.
to what you could do then. All right, I'm walking now I think from like your office, maybe even to the restroom, which was a way down the hallway. Why
Yes.
not like make the best of it and do some of your exercises, right?
Yes.
Then that's paying attention to what your lifestyle is
Right.
now.
But that's the one thing that I think that I learned from you is by you don't have to have a set time to do like a workout or to, every time that you would come in and see me, you'd be like, okay, let's stand up, let's stretch, let's, move the back. You would do that. And I have incorporated that into my life even now. It's like if I am standing up, I think we were talking before we got on, the things that I do before I get started, and it's just those little things that help me to get to that point. And you have introduced me to being mindful and the different meditations that I didn't even realize that were out there. I remember going to your retreat and remember we were doing the walking meditation. And, at first it was like, oh gosh, what is this all about? And I remember just taking the time and going, oh, I'm going to just adapt to this. And I remember coming around and we were by the sea and I'm in the grass and I look up and I see this bird and I started bawling my eyes out, going, this is what I want. This is what I need in my life. I can't let this go. So
Wow.
it's just, people don't realize that people like you who help us to pay attention and those little things are huge
Mm.
in somebody's life. It takes the stress off. It just takes those little points. So I thank you for that. And you know being aware and having that mindfulness practice is, for me, has started with, knowing you and having you part of my life and just realizing all that. So that's been truly, truly amazing, truly amazing. So
Yeah, and Doreen, so what you just said to me, what happened to you in that retreat, that's huge. You were ready for it, because you obviously came to the retreat. It was called a weekend of self-discovery,
yeah,
and you were open to it, right? But when you're in that environment, it's so easy to be open to it because, you have the ocean there and you're just so open. But in that moment, in mindfulness, that's called self-realization.
mm,
And that's what happens. And you're right, it just welled up within you because that's what you have within you all the time.
right, right.
And imagine if you never made that discovery, if you never had that realization, we just keep burying and
Mhm.
burying and burying what's true, what's there,
Yes.
our true self, right? And you're all about
Mhm.
women empowering women getting to your true self. And
Yes.
that realization was so much right there. You
Mhm.
got it. And from there started your mindful living, yours,
Yes.
different from mine.
Yes.
Everyone's mindful living is different,
Yes.
right?
So much so that I love birds, that I make sure that I feed my birds. Now, I had for a period of time let that go because we had bears coming through, and my husband would always comment, "Oh, you spending more money on the bird seed than you are blah 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 blah," right? And that was one of the moments that when I got back, it's like, I'm not letting that go. That makes me happy. That, fills my heart just to look out the window and
Yeah.
see that. They actually will come and get my attention to say, hey, you need to fill up the bird seat. I feel that they do anyway. They dive bomb me or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm coming, I'm coming. So I love that. And that is my time to, just take that moment, even when I'm filling it up and being grateful and just enjoying it and hearing them and being present at that moment to, be grateful for that and to accept that. So yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
I love
Absolutely.
it. All right. So let me ask you this. You being your transformational wellness, health coaching, what is your favorite part about your business and what you do?
So just passing the message, I feel it is such a gift of health and wholeness. I just believe that wholeness is our birthright. And, we focus so much on our brokenness and
Mm,
on our flaws. But
yes.
to bring, clients, people, whoever's in my presence, whether it be in a group like last night, we had our restorative meditation session. Um, and who's ever in my presence, just the message will always be to come to the wholeness that is innate within you despite your brokenness. We all have broken. It's not about perfection. It's
Right.
about wholeness.
I
And
love
my mission, my message is to bring
it.
that
Mm.
wholeness.
So if somebody is listening out there, what is one way for them to, stop and be present? What advice would you give to somebody?
Yeah. So just to, pause intentionally, like pause to take a deep breath. The breath
Mm,
brings us back into presence. Just an intention. We're always breathing, thankfully. And I think through COVID, we've learned that the breath
yes.
is so important. And
Mm,
it is, it's our life force. So
mm,
when we pull back and just take a conscious, intentional breath, it starts to bring us into balance, our nervous system, our whole self. One breath. But then when we take like 3 deep
mm,
conscious breaths, that's all pausing, get away from the work that
yes.
you're doing, from
Yeah.
the multitasking. Even when you're cooking dinner, if you have lots of kids and you're cooking, or a family, and you get a just pause and
Yeah.
say, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath right now. It brings you into the moment of what you're doing without stress,
Mm,
without the stress of all the cooking that you're doing, trying to get with, you know what I mean? It doesn't only happen with a life that is just you, and you know what I mean? It can happen with lots of stuff going on around you. It's just taking that intentional pause, looking what's before you, looking outdoors
mm,
and seeing the beauty that's just for a minute.
yes.
It doesn't have to be 20 minutes like people say, or
Right.
like people would think.
Right. I love that. I use the concentrating on your breath at nighttime, especially when, it's very hard for me. Like I'm kind of fidgety and it's like, okay, I need to go to sleep, but and I'm someone who writes, so it's like it's out of my mind, but I am a planner, I'm a thinker. So I use that a lot is to like, let me just concentrate on my breath. And before you know it, I am out.
That's
So
awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I know you're doing it, and and you're that's paying attention on purpose to what you need. So you're noticing that you want to sleep, and
Yes.
you have tools within you that work for you, and that's breath. There's many others, and there's other beginning points if people just don't relate to that.
Mm,
There's so many tips and tricks
yes.
to get you there that are healthy, that are mindful, that are wholesome.
Yes, I love that. And you're the woman to talk about that. So, we just talked about COVID-19. So, tell me, what is possibly one lesson that you have learned out of this whole COVID-19 virus?
Yeah, so I've really learned, Doreen, I just want to say I'm so grateful during this time, seriously, that I had developed and cultivated a mindful practice
Mm,
over the years, because the other benefit is that you don't get so controlled by what's going on externally, because you have strengthened your internal world. And so I am grateful there, but no doubt it's out there. So I see the stress and I know it's there. What has helped me is to be constant, finding the silver linings and the blessings
mm,
that are there. And they're there for all of us. But that's what present moment living is too, Doreen. When the more you choose to live presently and take that breath and look at the gifts that are right in front of you, when there's so much going on around us,
yes.
we can access those gifts in any moment. And let me tell you, they are there.
Mm,
And that's our spiritual well-being. And that's there too. We can't leave that out.
mm,
Totally connects us.
that's,
Nature, just look out at nature. That never left us,
yes.
right?
Hmm. I love that. I just love everything about what you're saying. So, all right. So, what is your favorite way to relax?
My favorite way to relax, I think, is to, I love doing things that I enjoy, but I love to so relax, cooking, when after a long day, and I meditate in the morning, and then after a long day of work at 5 o'clock, when I just love going in the kitchen, I'll put on either some great music that I love, or if I want quiet, I'll just concentrate. And through COVID, I've enjoyed doing so many things from scratch,
Mm,
like making a homemade pomodoro sauce almost once a week.
wow.
Doreen, it's so easy. And I love doing it from scratch, cutting up and just being 100% engaged in that. And then the result, you know, um, of the taste and that I did it from scratch. So I love to do that for relax. I love to dance and walk, go for walks. And I've put on the music and just danced in my house when I can't. Music that I love. And that's the invitation too, right? Is for people to do what they love. And I think that could be a silver lining in this. What do you love? Find it
Yes.
and do it. What
Yeah.
is
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Okay, well, I know that we could sit here and talk
oh,
forever. So
we could.
I'm going to do some rapid fire questions and then we'll wrap up our conversation. Okay, so first one is, what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
What would I tell my 14-year-old self?
Mm,
To to just relax, not to judge yourself so much, to just be happy, relax, not judge yourself, be happy.
I love that. Yes, that would
Thank
be, that's awesome. All right, so what are you loving right now?
What am I loving right now? Where I am in this moment, just what I've cultivated, where I am in my home, you know, just where I am right now.
I love that. Okay, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for my life, for the gift of my life, and that I get to share it with whoever I get to share it with. I'm grateful.
Amazing. And you are a sharer. Absolutely. All right. Last question is, what is your favorite movie? Doesn't have to be a Christmas movie.
So
Your
listen,
favorite
no,
movie.
listen, I'm glad you asked that because now, and I want to post it because I think everybody should watch it if they haven't. Chronicles 2 with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Yes.
We watched Chronicles 2 first, and I love that kind of humor. It was so, and it has the meaning of Christmas, and it's just beautiful. The meaning, so I guess you'd have to, but you asked what my favorite movie was. But I think even if somebody doesn't celebrate Christmas, they
Right.
would enjoy it because it's that funny. It's funny. And
I've
that's
heard
what
that.
I've
Yeah.
learned, Doreen. Go ahead.
I've heard that movie is funny. I haven't seen it yet, but yes, I will watch it. It was
You will laugh.
I passed by it the other day. I'm like, oh, I need to
Okay.
watch this.
1 and 2.
One
But
and
2
two.
is
Okay.
awesome.
Are they
Yeah.
both in the same one?
Yeah.
Chronicles one and two? Oh,
We
okay.
watched 2 first, and then I said, "I guess I better watch 1 too," but they were both like just I laughed, my husband and I both. It was so awesome.
I will have to watch it. Chronicles one and two. I'm going to write that down. Okay. So now, how can people find you? What do you got going on? What is your, I mean, I'm sure you got coaching programs or something.
Yep.
What's going on? So tell us a little
So
bit
I do one-on-one group coaching and group coaching. I have my website, which you helped with, put together beautifully. So it's AnitaBarbero.com. And if you just go on my website, you can find everything that I offer. It's very current. I'm on Facebook. I have Renew Your Health is my business. So I would love it if you got on there and just liked it. And I provide content that I hope is helpful. And I'm always open there. I also, Doreen, have a YouTube channel, Anita Barbero. Um, and it has some great exercise for a healthy back, like 20-minute exercise programs that were professionally done from our friend uh, Therese. Teresa. And so, yeah, and Heather's my VA, which she's in the Women Empowering Women. She's been awesome. So we're all working together and creating, empowering women, right? And that's where you can find me.
now. You also have a nonprofit. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that too?
That just went up on Facebook. Our nonprofit is called The Gift. And the reason it was created, Doreen, is because I've always wanted this to spread this message of life as a gift. And I've always had a deep desire to help people that weren't or aren't as, fortunate as myself in all kinds of ways. And so I felt to set up this nonprofit. I had time when I was recovering from knee surgery for 14 weeks. And I said, this is the time to do it. And we're a 501c3. I have a group of 5 women that are on the board that are absolutely phenomenal. And they are helping to share the mission. So it's a community um, gift of just helping to a community member or individual, this is our mission statement, who's in need financially or just needs to sustain a quality of life.
That's
And
awesome.
that's the gift.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you go check out AnitaBarbero.com. I will make sure that wherever I post this at, her information is below. So, Anita, thank you for being my guest today. What would be your one thing that you would like to tell the audience of Women Empowering Women?
That, no matter what goes on, that life is a gift and your life is a gift. Like the message is you are a gift.
Mm,
So much love and light to share. So get to that place where you know that and just share it and be it. Imagine if we were all spreading our love and light and our gifts, what a beautiful world it would be.
yes.
That's my message, and that's what I
Thank you so much. That was amazing. And guys, thank you for being part of Women Empowering Women. If you're listening, if you could please like it, share it, leave a comment. We always appreciate that. And as Anita said, you know what? Life is a gift. Your being here is a gift to us, and we really appreciate it. So until next time, thank you guys, and we will see you on the next recording.
Bye. Thank you, Doreen.